The Mineral Resources and Energy Minister, Gwede Mantashe, has called on international investors to come to Africa to advance the continent's existing mining activity. Mantashe was speaking on day one of the 2022 Mining Indaba earlier. This is where global stakeholders have gathered after a 2-year COVID-19 imposed break. Business reporter Tumisang Ndlovu joins us now. Tumisang, good morning to you. What more has the minister had to say to that Mining Indaba, whilst at the same time we are watching that mining data that's to come out this week sometime that will give us an indication of how Q1 went thus far in 2022?
That's correct, Xoli. We heard from the Minerals and Energy Minister, Gwede Mantashe, a short while ago, where he was talking about issues that he's touched on before, being the just energy transition, as well as South Africa's ESG agenda on the continent as well as on a global scale. And speaking of mining data that is expected to come out this week, there's been an issue with the commodities boom in that we've seen that South Africa has benefited, but at the same time we are seeing that slow decline as the global economy starts to stabilize from the COVID-19 pandemic. But to speak more around the South Africa's agenda as well as role in terms of mining on the continent and the globe, we speak to the legal department from Werksman Attorney. She's the head and a director there. This is Bulelwa Mabasa, just to talk to us about what more lies behind the Mining Indaba and South Africa's mining future. Thank you so much for your time, Sis Bulelwa. Let's talk about really where South Africa is going and what agenda should South Africa be following, given mining and the future thereof in this country.
Thank you very much for having me. I think South Africa's history is steeped in mining, and the future is going to be that. But I think what's important in a conversation that we need to be talking more about is what role do communities play in mining? And also, what role does government play in the intersection between environmental sustainability and mining on the other hand? We need to have some kind of a policy direction. And this is where I say mining is also a land reform issue, because South Africa needs to map out for investors what land is actually secured for which land uses and what land purposes. And in that context, as a lawyer and as an attorney, we're seeing a lot of disputes that are coming into court because there is this lack of coherence and interplay between environmental law on the one side and mining. So I think that in the future of mining, there's going to be a lot more engagement and true, meaningful engagement between mining companies and communities.
Briefly, with the litigation that is currently ongoing, would you say that government has maybe dropped the ball in terms of bringing communities on board here?
I think so, and I think the trouble, as I said, the fundamental issues are land reform issues, because the reason that mining companies aren't able to engage properly with communities is because we have legacy issues such as in rural areas people don't have title deeds, they don't really have a say, the land there isn't surveyed, and that's where you end up finding that there is this gap between communication and engagement between mining companies and communities. So there's a lot of work that government still needs to do around securing the tenure